What if I told you that the key to unlocking success in every area of your life, whether in your career, relationships, or personal growth, was hidden in one of the oldest self-help books ever written? A book that, since 1936, has transformed millions of lives and could change yours today. Sounds too good to be true, right? But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see how one book completely turned David's life around. And no, it's not magic. It's all about people. Yes, you read that right. People. Hey there. Welcome to Book Play. If you're hungry for motivation, growth, and practical life-changing strategies, you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep into Dale Carnegie's timeless classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And believe me, this book is not just about making friends. It's about transforming the way you connect, communicate, and lead. If you're tired of feeling stuck in life, frustrated, or just plain invisible, stick around. This might just be the game changer you've been waiting for. By the way, if you're the kind of person who rolls their eyes at self-help books, don't worry, you're not alone. David did the same thing until he didn't. Let's get into it. David was stuck. At 23, he was fresh out of college, full of ambition but struggling to find his footing in the adult world. He worked a dead-end job in retail, doing his best to keep his head down and survive. He was frustrated by his lack of progress and felt overlooked by people who seemed to have it all figured out. Sound familiar? One day he was talking to a mentor at work, a successful manager who always seemed to have a way with people. She made her team love her clients trust her, and her peers admire her. Intrigued, David asked, "What's your secret?" Her answer? How to win friends and influence people. David was skeptical, of course. A book? Really? But that question stuck with him. A few days later, at a local bookstore, David picked up the book, and everything changed. Takeaway number 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. David started reading the first chapter, and it hit him like a ton of bricks. People don't care about you until they know you care about them. It wasn't about what he wanted out of life or who he thought he was. It was about what he could give to others. That idea alone made David rethink every conversation he had. Instead of talking about himself and his accomplishments, he started asking more questions, genuinely listening and getting to know people. And the results? People started responding to him differently. The receptionist at work smiled when he walked in. His boss began asking for his opinion in meetings, and his peers started coming to him for advice. David's relationships changed from casual to meaningful, all because he learned the power of being genuinely interested in others. And let's be honest, when's the last time you stopped talking about yourself and actually listened to someone else for once? You'd be surprised how far that can get you. Takeaway number 2, smile. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait. Smile? Is that really a strategy? Yes, it is. David's next lesson from the book was ridiculously simple, yet profoundly powerful. Smile. Carnegie's research shows that a warm smile can break down barriers, diffuse tension, and build instant rapport. It's a non-verbal cue that tells people, I'm approachable, I'm kind, and I'm here for you. So David decided to give it a shot. He smiled at his co-workers, at strangers, even at his grumpy boss. And guess what? He noticed something incredible. People smiled back. It was like flipping a switch. Suddenly he felt more connected, more engaged, and, this might sound a little crazy, happier. So the next time you're facing a tough situation, try it. It's free, it's easy, and it might just open doors you never expected. Takeaway number 3. Remember that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest sound in any language. All right, moving on. David's next breakthrough came when he learned the importance of remembering people's names. This may seem trivial, but Carnegie made a point of stressing how powerful it is when you call someone by their name. You see, to David, Remembering names felt like an impossible task. He could barely remember his own, let alone his colleagues'. But when he started making an effort to remember people's names, everything changed. The difference was staggering. The moment he called someone by their name, whether it was his neighbor, his co-worker, or even the cashier at the store, their entire demeanor shifted. They smiled, they warmed up to him, and suddenly David was becoming the person people wanted to be around. And hey, if you really struggle with names, just say something like, "Hey, sorry, I've got a terrible memory, but what's your name again?" People love when you make an effort, even if you mess it up sometimes. Takeaway number 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. At this point, David was feeling a major shift, but it wasn't until he fully embraced Carnegie's lesson on being a good listener that things took off. David realized that he had spent his whole life talking about himself, but in every situation, whether it was at work or with friends, he started to reverse the pattern. He began to ask people about their experiences, their dreams, and their passions. And guess what? People loved talking about themselves. Soon David wasn't just getting noticed. He was creating bonds with people who wanted to be around him. The best part? He didn't have to do most of the talking. All he had to do was listen. Takeaway number 5. Let the other person feel that the idea is theirs. One of the most powerful tactics David learned was how to encourage others to take ownership of ideas. The book emphasizes that when people feel like they are in control of an idea or decision, they are much more likely to go along with it. At work, David applied this principle when collaborating with his team. Rather than giving direct orders or suggestions, he'd frame his ideas in a way that invited others to contribute. "Hey, what do you think about this idea? Do you think it would work?" As a result, his co-workers felt valued, and they were more motivated to work together towards common goals. David became the person who inspired others to act without ever forcing them. Takeaway number 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. The final lesson David took away was about making others feel important. But there's a key here. It must be sincere. David realized that genuine recognition and appreciation were incredibly powerful tools for building relationships. When he complimented his team, praised their efforts, and genuinely acknowledged their contributions, it created a positive, motivating environment. People wanted to do their best around him because they felt seen and valued. By the way, this isn't about being a fake cheerleader. You can't just say, "You're amazing," and expect people to buy it. You've got to mean it, or you'll end up sounding like that overly enthusiastic gym instructor who says, "Great job," after you barely finish a 5-minute jog. We all know that person. And that, my friends, is how to win friends and influence people changed David's life. But here's the thing. You don't have to be David. You can become David. The principles in this book aren't just theory. They're actionable steps that can transform your relationships, your career, and your self-confidence. It's not about changing who you are. It's about becoming the best version of yourself by connecting with others in a way that is positive, genuine, and influential. So, what are you waiting for? Start today. If you're ready to take the first step toward a more fulfilling and successful life, get your hands on this book. Trust me, the lessons will stay with you forever. And hey, if you want more insights like this, if you're ready to keep learning, growing, and becoming the best version of you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. At Bookplay, we're all about turning knowledge into action. Join the community and let's level up together. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, people are the most important part of life. Treat them well and you'll be amazed at the doors that open. See you in the next video.